Welcome to the Nerd Party.
Hello, I'm Charlene Schmidt.
I'm Patrick Schmidt.
We just watched No Compromises, episode 1 of season 5 of Babylon 5, and it's time once again to kick off a new season in Babble for 5. Let's start with some new characters, shall we?
Sure.
Okay, Captain Lochley, first impressions.
Captain Locktite is locked tight.
I know what the title will be of this episode.
You can tell, gonna run into some problems, and I can already see it happening. This is how she learns how things actually work, and not just what she's been taught military-wise.
But she speaks her mind and has no problem doing so, that's for sure.
Yeah, and that's probably gonna be a good thing in the long run for her. She just needs to harness it on a way that's gonna work for Babylon 5. You gotta be a team builder and a coalition builder.
So yeah, I guess we'll see if she comes into her own with this new assignment, much in the way that Sheridan did. I mean, at first he had his growing pains, and now we get to see how Captain Lochley will handle things. The other new character, Byron, telepath, has a few people who want to come make camp on Babylon 5. First impressions of him. Well,
he brought them to Babylon 5, and already their star witness is dead. That didn't take long, and he still wants to stay. That's on him.
Welcome to Babylon 5.
Seriously. Will they become a huge part of Babylon 5? You know, I was kind of thinking that was going to be the case when Brother Theo came on and his, bunch of merry men. And we haven't seen them in seasons. So
they kind of serve their purpose.
Yeah, so these guys could really be like a one-off, but they could also be like the key in a coming telepath war. Who the fuck knows? What do I need to remember? Just tell me. Just spell it out for me.
I can't, and you know it.
The whole problem with Byron and his team being on Babylon 5 now is that the captain of Babylon 5 doesn't want him there.
Yes, and isn't this interesting in contradiction to what Sheridan and Lochley were discussing earlier in the episode?
Yes. It's not a good look when the first big decision you make as a captain or as a leader gets reversed by your superior. He just doesn't want to let go of Babylon 5.
It may be so, and even if that's not the intention, that's certainly how it might look.
Right now, Sheridan was a lot of talk, but his actions spoke louder than his words.
He kind of cherry-picked and said, he saved my life, I feel like I owe you a favor, you can stay, and here's how I'm going to frame it so it passes. Here's my thought, is this one's on Sheridan, and it's from a man who is inexperienced in the position he's in now. He's a well-seasoned and practiced commander of the station at this point, but he is new at being the president of a new alliance. There's going to be growing pains there, too, just like there is for any new job. If that becomes a repeated pattern of behavior, that's a no-go, and you're going to need people like Lochley and Garibaldi and even Delenn. I'm a little surprised at how quickly she kind of goes onto everybody's side when they're in the meeting, deciding whether or not to postpone the inauguration. John, that's not how things are done. And no, of course Sheridan is saying, no, this is how I need to do it. I need to do it my way. Oh, speaking of Sheridan and Delenn.
Yes.
Marital bliss. We get a little peek into their personal life as a newlywed couple, and it's cute. They're basically going to each other's place, alternating on who's sleeping over when.
Yes, which is not sustainable. Sheridan's going to want to do all these things, but eventually you got to put the wife first.
Yeah.
Happy wife, happy life. He's going to have to start delegating some decision making so he can retire before he dies.
This episode is titled No Compromises. Johnny needs to compromise a little bit. Speaking of another person who maybe wasn't compromising terribly well in this episode, how about Garibaldi? Really kind of butting his way into Zach's business? I gotta agree with Lochley on that point, where bro needs to kind of back off, even though he did save everybody's ass. We gotta give him credit where it's due.
Garibaldi's trying to make his way. He was trying to figure out where he fit. He figured out he didn't fit on Babylon 5 anymore. He found a way to get it into a position where he could actually do the kind of work he wanted to do.
Yeah, he kind of carved a little middle-of-the-road path where he's going to remain on Babylon 5, not as head of security because, well, screw that uniform. He does look better in the suit. And again, is that going to be a constant case of butting heads?
Well, we've set up in this first episode a whole lot of potential conflict in where we're going to go for the rest of the season. I think it's pretty clear.
With this being a first episode, it feels like a fantastic setup for the rest of the season.
Put your hand on the book, say you want to end the show.
I want to end the show.
Let's end the show. Like, comment, subscribe, do all the YouTube things we know that you can.
That's right. We appreciate those of you who have come on board. We do keep seeing our numbers going up, and that helps make us more visible to other people to join the nerd party. Hey, thanks to them for supporting us and being the platform for which we get to do this show, and we're excited to have you come along for the ride that's going to be Season 5.
Yeah, thanks for not spoiling anything because I don't know what's coming, so appreciate your diligence and your patience with me as I work my way through this last season of this series.
Yeah, thank you for doing that all the way up to now and going forward in the future. We really appreciate it.
Yep.
So,
till next week.